Perseverance is a great element of success. If you only knock long enough and loud enough at the gate, you are sure to wake up somebody. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. My friends, perseverance, if you will just stick with this 10 to 15 minutes each and every day, that is your knocking, and you knock hard and you knock long. Don't worry about how long it takes, because once you succeed in mastering the ability to chart the markets, understanding the interplay of volume and price movement, trend lines, Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, you will have the world as your oyster. You'll make up for all the time you ever spent. Let's jump into these charts. We see stocks and bonds up, gold and Bitcoin down. Let's start things off as we always do with the S&P 500. Look at the volume, already up to average, and we're not even to Friday yet. And what did we do? We boomed up on Thursday. You can see in the morning, it started climbing back. Well, it popped up on Monday morning, then sort of pulled back. Then on Tuesday, a doji in the morning, then up some in the afternoon. Then on Wednesday, we saw it pop up in the afternoon, up a little in the morning. And today, up in the morning, pulling back a little bit in the afternoon, up overall 0.33%. But look at where we are with the higher high. We had been talking about where we were 2 weeks ago at 518.22. Then last week, 517.38. This week, we're at 524.11. I mean, that is, again, a booming. And things are looking nice as we look at where we are with the 2-day chart. This is the Wednesday-Thursday candle finish drawing today. Above average volume, things moving up above the weekly trend line. And the same on the 2-day. I mean, from the 2-day to the half-day. So things looking great. Where are we on the NASDAQ 100 now? This is important because it was really lagging. As we look at where the high was 2 weeks ago, we see that high 3 weeks ago, actually, going on 3 weeks, 446.58. Oh, then higher, 448. See, that's the reason I actually look at these figures. And again, I tell you all the time, these dashes, look at what that dash did to me. It made me think when I had it lined up, it was actually higher than this one on the top. It was not. So 446.58, 448.64. Last week, 444.02. This week, high to 449.34. So again, you know, what is that? Almost $1 above. So again, moving up in the right direction. Look at the volume, already at average, above average on that 2-day. So again, spinning top, things moving in the right direction. And we are still, you know, we said yesterday, we've said throughout this week, we're still long, and we are still long. We don't have anything telling us that we've rolled over. So we're still long on stocks, and it's a working for us. You got this market that just keeps going. We told you when we had this, we'd seen it before. We saw the same kind of pattern. But again, one day this pattern's going to end. It could end next week. So we'll keep looking, but we'll keep riding that gravy train as long as it's bringing in the profit on our practice trades. Let's move to bonds. Bonds up a little bit for the day, 0.22%. Of course, we've drawn this down trend line. Not much of a trend line for us. Not much for us to really be able to track on this weekly chart with no volume there. We do see on the 2-day candle, we do have some volume, decent volume up to the, just about up to the average with that spinning top. And of course, we can see where things are. We're below the trend line, but really got nothing compelling us to do a whole lot with bonds. Of course, this last run-up in bonds was nice. Back in October, when we had that high volume low and then the spinning top turnover, that was beautiful. But since then, we just haven't had the volume matching up with the price movement. And of course, that's what we ask for. And again, thousands of things to trade. Trade the things that give you the signals that you know work the majority of the time. And again, then how do you control your losses? Well, you use our method, our always winning method. What do? You reduce your volatility based upon what you're seeing on the average true range. And you use the average true range on this 2-day chart to set your profit and loss bands. We talk about it all the time, and you will find that if you limit your losses and you let your profits run, that is the way to win in your practice trades. Let's see where we are with gold, down for the day, 0.10%. Now, as we look at gold, we can see that high 2 weeks ago in gold was 203.30. Last week, 202.41. This week, 203.92. So we are hitting a higher high. We're still long in gold. Gold has penetrated the weekly trend line on the 2-day. It's right on it on the half-day. So we are being careful, paying attention and watching, but hitting higher highs is wonderful and beautiful. What we probably need to do as we're approaching the end of this week is sort of rejigger our trend line based upon the fact that we have hit a higher high this week. Smaller candle, decent volume, things moving in the right direction. Lastly, we'll go to Bitcoin. How are we on HODL? Pulling back 1% for the day. You can see the Monday, Tuesday, and the Wednesday, Thursday 2-day candles going down on the Bitcoin ETF. We are below the trend line on the 2-day and the half-day. Now, if we get an idea of the volume by looking at 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin, we can see we're already up for the average this week. We can see that this latest 2-day candle, now this is the 24-hour Bitcoin, so 2-day candle is a little different. This is the Thursday, Friday, so it just started growing. It's got, it may very well hit average or above average there. We can see what's been happening over every 195 minutes, where things hit the peak back on Wednesday evening, and then throughout the evening into the early morning hours of Thursday, sliding sideways, then dropping over in the afternoon. 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin is actually down 3.38% right now. But we can see where our volume is. Excuse me. And overall, it looks okay for the week. So we are still long Bitcoin, but very cautious with this spinning top and with these down moves. And again, not saying that the minute you saw things rolling over on this 2-day chart with the path to success that it had shown us before and the relative ability to count on it, when it crossed through that weekly trend line, you darn sure could have pulled that on Monday and not ridden it further down. Why? Because if it turns back around and starts to move up, you can always get back in. You know, you don't have to be greedy. You don't just have to stick with something because it is a way you've done it in the past or there's a different way to think about it. I encourage experimentation. I encourage you to try things, but here's the requirement. When you do it, you write in your trader's journal, and it can be nothing but a piece of paper or a little college rule notebook that you keep, and you put on there, you date it, you put the time, you put what your thoughts are. This is what I'm thinking, and this is what I'm going to do, and you do it. And then you keep up with what were the results of that, and then you save that. That is your little nugget. Those are your nuggets of gold, what you've learned based upon the charts you followed, the practice trades you've engaged in, the thoughts you've had, the indicators and how you've applied them, how you've used volume, how you've used the Heikin Ashi candlesticks, how you've used the 3 different time periods and the interplay between them to make your decisions. My friends, that's just common sense, using what you have learned. Hey, Patreon members, I have for you 9 weekly vertical crossovers going up, 9 going down. We already released on the Patreon page your 3-wave trades and your charting cryptos, commodities, and currencies. The charting cryptos, commodities, and currencies will be released to everyone tomorrow after the market closes. Patreon members get it early. They exclusively get the weekly vertical crossovers and the 3-wave trades. Those are the liquid stocks with liquid options, liquid ETFs with liquid options that we curate for you every week. So enjoy all that information. I'll also be sending those things out in an email, but everything, again, is always available. First come, first serve to Patreon members at the Patreon site. We appreciate your backing up the work we do here. You appreciate what we do. How about support us? The things you support tend to stay around. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.